What's going on? This is Lawrence D. Adams. Hey, why everybody when they go live, they always say, "Hey, what's going on? Hey." I'm just testing to see if somebody's here. Well, this is Lawrence D. Adams. This is when spirituality and the game combined. You have the thinking class. I am live. I went directly live on YouTube versus going live on the other ways that I normally do. But I want to make sure I touch base with great people of the thinking class. How you guys doing? My level seems sort of high, so I'm gonna lower them down a little bit. But what's going on? Hey, so today there's so much I could talk about or even go into, but I want to make sure that I reach out to the community that has been supporting me part as the thinking class. You guys are awesome. You're the greatest. I think you can see in the chat room. I only have this on YouTube. Yes, I am still doing the show. I'm still doing, but I've been in school or in my own kind of schooling to get schooling on how to be better on what I do. And I think everyone should do that so that they can be a better version of themselves. But today I just want to say, what's up? What's going on? How you guys doing? Man, if I had some game to share today, I have some game. I can share some real good game. But today I just want to pop up and say, what's going on? How are you doing? How your family doing? How everybody's doing? This is Lawrence. If you didn't, I don't usually say I'm Lawrence. Yeah, let me drop some gems. I've been doing a lot of shorts, giving some great knowledge. But in this time, I've been in a place of transformation my own self on how I do content, how I come on social media, and how I present myself. So it's been great because I had to get rid of the old version of me and to embrace the new version of who I am. So that's what you're seeing that's taking place right now with the thinking class. So this can apply to you. If you want to go to the next version or the next place in your life, you can't take the version of you of who you were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or even 6 months. You need to you need to tap into the version of you who can sustain where you need to be at. Let me say that again. You need to tap into the version of you who has the goals and the things and where you want to go. And I think a lot of people do not do that. And so what happens is they end up going on the hamster wheel and then realizing I'm trying to reach this goal, but you know what happened is you haven't changed your identity. So I think one of the most important things that's been going on with me, I'll say for me, is identity change. And some of the things I did even a year ago don't add up now to where I'm at. How I present myself, how you deal in relationships, how you deal with money, how you deal with your space. You realize that you have to become another person, or you begin to evolve as a person. And I think a lot of guys, when I'm talking to you guys, a lot of men are struggling in this space, and it's not the game that's the issue, it's that they have not changed their identity. So game and strategies are good, but if you do not change who you are on the inside, all you're going to do is going to be you're going to be going around in a big circle. So what I realize, a lot of people are giving a lot of great content online, but who's really giving you not just information, but showing you how to get transformation? And so one of the things I see that's so important for a lot of men, because I'm talking to men, I got women to listen to, but you have not changed your identity. Your identity of who you are has not changed. So you're struggling with, you get all this information, but there's not leading to transformation. So one of the biggest things that you can do is to begin to say, hey, what I'm doing right here is not working. How do I change my identity? So if I was to rename this rename this live, it would be, you need to change your identity. None of this stuff is going to work. You've been listening to me for 5,000 years. You've been listening to everyone else. You listen to this one, you listen to that one. But until you change your identity, but if you change not only your identity, but you change how you see yourself. Let me try to put some in the chat room. I never did it this way. So I'm gonna put this in the chat room. They're high. But you need to change your identity. If I was to go a little bit further, you need to change your what? How you see yourself. The reason why a lot of people are not winning in life is not because of the circumstances, it's because how they see themselves. I had to go, I'm in the process of seeing myself as a different version. And what happens is, let me take this out of here because this is, how do you take this out? The moment I did that, I guess I can't do that. There we go. Remove. There we go. Yeah. The moment I did that, guess what? Everything began to change. You have to change your what? You have to change your identity. How do you see yourself as an individual? No amount of game, no amount of reading books. You can read all, I got an extensive library and I need to get some more up stuff. You can get all the information in the world, you can get all the coaching, but until you change your identity, your circumstances will stay the same. Your circumstances will change, stay the same. So I realize a lot of people come online, and I realize a big problem that what happens is you go online to look for solutions to your problems. And so what we do is we try to look for quick fixes without dealing with the real root of the issue, which is how we see ourselves. So what I'll do is I get online and say, hey, let me try to fix this and try to fix that because this relationship is working, or I'm not getting this amount of money. It's because I'm trying to fix the external without trying to fix the internal. Many of the issues with money that we have is not the government. It's not Trump. It's not Biden. It's not just because this is going on or this war is going on or somebody did that or they cut this. The real issue is how we see ourselves. Do we believe, or do you believe that you deserve to have what you say you want? And it's amazing. Once you make a decision that this belongs to me and is part of my identity, the doors begin to open up. If you're listening to this, put a number 1 if you're resonating with what I'm talking about, because I'm talking about identity. Be real honest. The real game is your identity must shift. Let me know in the chat room. I'm doing this. This is not on my normally. I'm doing it live from YouTube. There you go. What's going on, Wade? So your identity has to change. And a lot of people have not changed their identity. Therefore, their circumstances have not changed. It's amazing because we want it to happen externally, but we have not changed on the inside. Give us an example, LDA. My identity of who I was in high school cannot be the same identity I carried when I went to if I wanted to excel at college. That's what stopped me. I was still having a high school mentality going into college, and guess what? It did not work. The study habits I had in high school were not going to work on a college level, and it actually failed terribly. Why? Because I didn't change my identity. Same thing with marriage. If you're still in a single mindedness going into a relationship, guess what's going to happen? Your relationship's going to fail. Why? Because you're still in the identity of being single and not being with someone. There has to be an identity shift. Your identity shifts, your behavior change. Simple as that. I remember when I was married, I was in a single mindedness. I was still single while being in a relationship. That doesn't work, and that's not healthy. It's only when the moment that I became a man that's in a relationship and I was good, guess what happened? The relationship began to blossom. Same with your money. The moment you get out of the identity that there isn't enough money, guess what happens? Money begins to show up. It's because you change your identity. And I think that's what a lot of men who are moving forward have not changed their identity, and they are suffering. No matter how much you hear online and what everyone says, It's the moment you hear the moment that your identity change. It's the moment that you see transformation. Transformation doesn't come by more information. Let me say that again. Transformation doesn't come with more information. It comes through what? It comes from changing your identity to get to that transformation. So how does transformation happens? And it happens when you stop being who you were to what? Start being who you see yourself being. So you stop being who you were. Transformation takes place when you shift in your identity. I'll give you an example. I know of a guy listening to a couple of weeks ago. He wanted to join this coaching call. And the coaching call was, I think it was for about $10,000. And he was talked to his wife and said, what should I do? So they got their credit cards and they ran it up to $10,000. And he was thinking, how do I get this $10,000 back? So he paid for the coaching call and he took the information, but it wasn't the information that changed him. It was that he invested in himself and his identity changed, that he was worthy of $10,000. Once he did what was taught in that coaching call, he ended up getting more, double back than that $10,000. I think he got about $30,000 in within 2 months. It's only when what's going on? I'm a believer that thoughts can become things. That's true. That's right there. Yep. I'm a believer that's what's going on, Wade. That thoughts are things, right? It's only when he began to shift his identity, he paid a price. It didn't happen until after he made the transaction of the $10,000 that he believed that, wait a minute, I'm worthy of $10,000. His identity began to change. Why? After he made the commitment, his identity shift. Some things are not going to happen for you until you pay the price. Some things are not going to happen with your who you are until you're willing to shed the old version of you and embrace the new version of who you are. In this case, the young man, his identity changed when he said, wait a minute, I came up with $10,000. And he said, wait a minute, I'm worthy of $10,000. And guess what happened? The doors begin to open up for him. In the streets, they say what? The game is not told, it's sold. Plain and simple. The game is not told, it is sold. Once you realize that there's a price tag to get you to the next level so that you can shed who you are, you'll go there. The reason why I think a lot of people, even on my channel and other places, don't elevate to the next level is because they're not willing to invest in who they are. Let me say this right here. Even a couple weeks ago, I had a millionaire reach out to me in my DM. She gave a couple of critiques of my reels. I took them immediately, put them through ChatGPT, made their adjustments, and I see my numbers rise. I went back and invested in programs that she has. Who was I really investing in? I wasn't investing so much in her. I was investing in me. Why was I investing in me? Because I believe that if I want to go to the next level, the first thing one of the number one things I got to do is invest in me. If you want your identity to change, are you willing to pay the price to invest in who you are? If you want your identity to change, are you willing to invest in getting yourself to the next level? What happens to me and everyone else around here is we get comfortable and complacent in where we are, and we do not want to shift, or we don't think that we are worthy of the investing in ourselves. Are you worthy of investing in you? Are you willing to say, hey, I'm valuable, but there's some things that I don't know. Let me make an investment in me so I can get to the next level. Where you at now is not all there is. I remember hearing, I think it was Myron Golden talking about, he thought he was doing good until he met his billionaire friend. He said, oh, you're making that. Oh, the story goes, well, not that one. We'll tell the other story. He had got up at a conference and he was making 30,000 a year. I mean, 30,000 a month. And he thought he was doing something. And he got up proudly and said, I'm making 30,000 a month and I'm doing good. He said, oh, welcome. You're just at 30,000 a month? That's nothing. Sometimes we think the level that we're at, that's it. That's the cap. Once he got that wake-up call that 30,000 a month was nothing, guess what happened? He opened up his mind and said, what do I need to do next? So 30,000 becomes not a month, but in a day. Not in a what month, but in a day. That means he has to change his mindset or how he sees himself, that he was worthy of receiving 30,000 a month, to seeing himself as what? Being a person whose identity of getting 30,000 in a day. Now I think he's at 30,000. Well, I think he's at 1 million. He did 1 million in a day. Well, how's that? How does this all deal with game? It has everything to do with it. He had to shift his what? Perception of himself, his identity. The moment you change your identity of who you are, that you'll see the transformation in your life. The reason why you can hear all this game, hear all the information, can listen to everybody online and never see results, because you have not shifted your identity. Second of all, you don't think you're worthy enough to invest in. I'm talking to somebody. I'm on somebody's street. You don't think that what you have in you is worthy investing in. You invest in everything else, but you don't take the time to invest in you as a person. Are you willing to invest in yourself to get you to the next place? When I was driving that Kia Soul, not Kia Soul, let me put that right. And I was riding around, having a good old time, riding around, driving it. And I remember when I talked to Jono and I talked to Governor, they're like, hey, man, I was scared. And I'm like, where am I gonna get this money from for this car? And I wanted the Genesis. I had to shed the identity of being a Kia Soul to being a man who drives a what? New G70 Genesis. Was it hard? Yes, it was. Was I scared? I was scared out of my mind. I think I didn't get my plane ticket until that Friday. I got my plane ticket, but I didn't have a place to stay. I didn't get my place to stay until that Friday. And Saturday was the day I needed to what? Go pick up the car. And I'm thinking, where do I get this money? What's going on? These nuts? I didn't like, where do I get this money from? Who do I talk to? I was nervous. I sold my one car and I had to Uber back home and then get to work. What was really going on was not the transaction that was taking place. It was me shedding the old version of myself so that I can embrace the new version of myself. Was it easy? No, I had to make an investment. Matter of fact, I got talked to. They took me to the ringer. They said, you need to do this. That's what I'm currently doing. Envisioning me driving the Lexus 350 right now. Correct. So let me right there. That's a good statement right there. You envisioning. But this is the thing I want you to do. I'm gonna give you this good game. This gonna help you right here. So you envision the Lexus 350. I want you to take it a step further with your envisioning. Not only you driving it, let's go beyond that. I want you to go and see somebody saying, hey, whose Lexus 350 is this? And I want you to say, in your imagination, say, that's mine. Let me say that again. I don't want you to see you just driving it. I want you to say, I want you to go in your imagination and say, someone to look at you and say, wow, whose Lexus 350 is that? And I want you to respond to them and say, that's mine. What you're doing is you're shifting your identity. What? That not only that you're trying to get it, but that you already have it. Let me say that again. I want you to shift your identity, not from driving it, but get out of the car, smell the air. If it's a rainy day or a sunny day, you smell flowers, see a person that you're cool with and them telling you that they said, whose Lexus 350 is this? And you saying confidently, hey, that's mine. When you do that, you're not just going to the end, you're going to the place where you possess it. If that making sense, let me know in the chat room. Let me know that that's clicking in with you. You're like, oh wow, I never thought about it. Many times we see a goal or something that we envision and we go to the end. I want you to go past the end when you see people congratulating you, like, wow, that's your Lexus 350. Man, that's clean right there. I had to do that when it came to the Genesis that I had, that I previously had, and say, hey, I seen people saying, wow, that color, that color's crazy. I ain't never seen nothing like that. Oh, well, how does it ride? I had to do that all week preparing, going to get the Genesis. And then I had to do it a little bit afterwards so I wouldn't lose the Genesis because I didn't feel I deserved it. That's real. Run that by me one more time. I'm running by you one more time. So what you have to do is go to see yourself parked and you're with your friend or friends or mother, brother, whoever it is, and they ask you, whose Lexus 350 is this? And you pop up and say, yo, that's mine. You smile, you feel like, yeah, I did that. What you're doing is you're going to the end where you possess the car, not that you're trying to get the car. You're seeing it from belongs to someone else, claiming it's mine. Correct. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm going from the place of trying to get it to the place of that yours already yours. So let's just go to the lesson today. Your identity says, one identity says I'm trying to get it. The other identity says I possess it. Let me say that again. One identity says I'm trying to get this Lexus. I see myself driving it. That's the wrong identity you want to be in. The right identity is where you possess it and you telling someone else that's my car. Like when my girlfriend drives my current car, I had to say, whose car is that? Because I'm always on the outside. I'm always driving the car. And I seen it pull up. I said, wow, that's a nice car. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's my car. Why? Because I'm no longer trying to get the car. I'm in possession of the car. Complete difference. Complete difference. Your identity of a person trying to get something versus a person who possesses it is completely different. Completely different. Completely different. You take off the stench of need and attachment to it. I gotta get that car. If I don't get it, I don't know what's going to happen. Versus the person who has that car, like, oh, like right now, my car is parked right over there. I got to get a car wash. Okay, cool. It's over there. Yeah, that's interesting. That totally rallied my brain. Good. I'm glad it's rallying your brain because I want you to really get that because you're going from a. You're good. You're good. I want you to really get that. So it's the same thing. You're going from the place of need, identity of needing something to an identity of what I possess it. I'll give you an example. When I was the current job that I work at, I worked through in the summer through a summer program. They paid me. And I went to an interview and I didn't get the job. I was like, man. So I had to go back to the current job that I was working at. I was like, oh, okay. As a security guard. But something I sat down in the room and I thought, what do I need to do? Put to practice what you know. I put on my good jeans, some nice shoes, and I knew what time that these guys went to lunch. So I went to the cafeteria. I was dressed, had my blazer on. I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? Like, hey, what's going on? What, you didn't get hired? I said, no, man, they didn't hire me. They picked somebody else. He was like, oh, okay. We're going to talk to someone and you're going to get an email soon. I said, all right, cool. I was here nor there. I was like, okay, cool. Next thing you know, I checked my email. They had sent me an email saying we got a job offer for you, but you got to come in and do the interview. So I came in the interview. What I did was, just catch what I did. I came in not looking to get a job. I came in as if I already had the job. Let me say that again. I did not go in there looking for, like, I hope they give me the job because I'm tired of working in security. No, I went in there and said, like, yo, how you guys doing? Boom, boom. I knew the questions. And I went in there not looking to get a job. I went in there like I already have the job. I ended up getting hired, went through the whole program. I ended up getting hired into that particular shop. So my point is, I had to change my identity as a job seeker into a person who possesses a job. My identity had to change. When your identity changes of how you see yourself, it changes what shows up in your life. I hope you guys are getting this. If you picking up what I'm putting down, let me know in the chat room. Put a number 1 in the chat room. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Olivier. I see why you've been away. Put a number 1 in the chat room. You're picking up what I'm putting down. So instead of, like you said, instead of chasing the Lexus 350, you're now in the place of what? Possessing the Lexus 350. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. It changes because your identity changed. You're not going as a person trying to get it. You're a person who owns it. I'm in the middle of a transition right now. A transaction taking place. What am I doing? I'm in the place of not trying to get this transaction to happen. I'm in the place of what? I already have it. And the deal is going to work in my favor. That changes everything. Is when your identity changes. That's why you've been on the treadmill of life and things have not been working, is because you have not changed your identity. In the Bible, if I was to quote the Bible in Romans, it's talking about Romans 12, it says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is the perfect and acceptable will of God. That means you got to change the way you're thinking if you want to get into the perfect will of God. Some things ain't gonna show up until you show up. Let me say that again for those that are hanging around. Some things are not going to show up in your life until you first show up. What do you mean, LDA? Until you first show up as who you need to be, then the things will show up. The moment I showed up as who I needed to be, she showed up. If I was being something else, she could not show up. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even notice. It's right there. It's right before you. You know it, but someone has to just sort of bring it out to your attention. Your identity has to change from who you were to who you want to be. That's there you go, Joe. That's I am that I am, which is the most powerful thing that you can say. I am that I am. If you guys can really get that, I am that I am, That means you like I went to go lift weights today. So I had to get in them when I first went back starting lifting weights and being consistent. I couldn't go thinking that I hope this works out. I don't know. I had to be committed to myself first and say, you know what? I am a man that lifts weights. I had to possess that. I had to feel the grip of lifting the iron. I had to visualize people working out beside me or people saying hi. Why? Because I had to get into the mindset that I am a man that lift weights every other day. Then when I talk to my sons who lift weights, say, hey, dad, do your cardio here. So I was doing elliptical and I had to change to doing what? I do the bike. So I do 20 minutes on the bike. Why? So I want to work on my cardio. Why? Because I had to change my identity as being a person who's just sit around eating popcorn and just, whatever, everything's going fine. No, 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 no. Your identity determines what dictates your behavior and your discipline. But let me tell you something else about your identity. Can you give me some water, please? So your identity also determines what distracts you and what doesn't distract you. I think I put the right in the camera. Your identity determines what distracts you and what doesn't. When you have the right identity, there's certain things that ain't gonna distract you because it's not part of your identity. It's not a part of your makeup anymore. That's why you have to change how you see yourself. My question to you today, how are you seeing yourself for real? You ain't got to pretend for me. You need to be honest with yourself. Do you still see yourself as a little boy or as a little girl? Or do you still see yourself as struggling, trying to make it? How do you really see yourself? How are you really viewing yourself? What is your identity the next question is, what identity do you really need to let go? Like, you know what? This ain't working no more. Have you ever, I put it this way. Have you had friends that you've been having for years and they are not going anywhere and they still doing the same thing they were doing before? You cool with them, you shake hands, you give them grip. Hey, bro, I'm with you. You dap them up, pound, whatever. But you realize that you no longer identify with that friend or those friends. And it doesn't mean when you see them that you don't speak to them, but you realize because you have evolved as a person, your identity with them is no longer the same. Even though secretly you might miss them and it hurts, you're like, you know what? We're not going the same direction. And it's okay. But just as that you have friends that are out there like that, you have to deal with a part of you that you're holding on that's stopping you from moving forward. What inside of you, what friend inside, what part of you that you're holding on to that you really need to let go? What identity are you that you're holding on to that you need to let go so that you can go to the next level? Sometimes you got to have a farewell, my friend. Our days are numbered. I'll see you when I see you. See, most men don't want to deal with that because that means I got to look in the mirror and I can't blame the woman. I can't blame the government. I can't blame Trump. Can't blame Harris. I can't blame. No. You have to look in the mirror and say, who am I holding on to, or what version of me am I holding on to that I really need to let go? Where do I really need to let go? I had to do that this week. I was like, wow. I ran across some friends I know, and I realized I'm not the person that they knew me 30 years ago. I'm completely different. I'm completely in a different place. But I was still holding on to that identity. And guess what's going to happen? Because I was still holding on to that identity, they will still hold on to that identity because that's how I'm seeing myself. And people treat you how you treat yourself. People don't like this. Let me stop. People treat you how you treat yourself. People don't treat you any differently. They treat you how you treat yourself. And that is the reason you're getting the results that you're getting. Because you are teaching people how to treat you. Well, these women out here for the streets, they ain't nothing but hoes and they ain't doing it. People treat you how you treat yourself. Maybe you are the hoe. Well, these women, man, they be going after me. They gold diggers. These women, and you don't know, bro. You ain't out there in these streets. People treat you how you treat yourself. If you ask any woman, you'll get one version. She'll give one guy one version, and she'll give you another version. Why? Based on how you treat yourself and how you see yourself. You get who you are. I ain't got no amens, no nothing. I ain't get no love in the chat room on that one. I know that was cold. Why? Because people are going to be a direct reflection of who you are. That is the reason why you have to change your identity. People are going to be a what? Direct reflection of who you are. In the words of Governor, he said the environment is always prophesying. What does he mean? That the environment is always showing you who you are or where you're at. It is your GPS system. It's your what? GPS system. Your environment is always saying, hey, this is where you're at. This is where you're at. This is what you're thinking. Are you going to react or are you going to move? No, are you not going to move? Appreciate that, Wave. That's why you need to change your identity. How do you change your identity? You change your identity by how should I say it? You change your identity by seeing yourself completely different. If you want that in your life, I'm gonna tell you, be honest with you. Sometimes you can't do it by yourself. You need someone, you need a coach to say, hey, you need to get that. But what other thing that you need, you don't not only just need a coach, you need how can I say this without just it is what it is. Not only do you need a coach, you need to pay the price. Let me give you what the streets say. The streets say this, and I haven't said it in a long time. The game is not told, it is sold. Some things you're gonna have to buy with your behind. Some things you're going to have to buy with what you're behind. That means you're going to have to pay a price. That means you're going to have to invest in you. Like I said, when that millionaire reached out to me 2 weeks ago, and I listened to her voice, I listened to her voice note, and she gave those things to me, I immediately put to practice what she said. I went to her website and bought products. I didn't immediately buy the products, but I talked about it. I wanted to buy a product. I spent money because I wanted to invest in me. I need to invest in who I am. A lot of guys listen to what I'm about to say. They're on these YouTube streets and they're looking for information. They want free information, but they don't want to pay to invest in themselves. And it shows. If you look at what I did in these, been doing YouTube for a long time, from when I started out from a little camcorder to having the actual camera, lights, setting and everything like that. That means I took the time to invest in my craft. I did have a mic, then I had the cordless mic, then I had this kind of mic. I invested in what was important to me. What are you willing to invest in? Or are you going to blame this the man stopping me? If I hear that one more time, that the man stopping you, and you realize that you are the man, ain't no one stopping you but you. And you have to take the opportunity to invest in you. If I can emphasize anything, invest in you. The other thing is this, and I think I'm gonna go after this. How many minutes I've been? Oh wow, 40 minutes. I didn't realize. You got to take the opportunity to invest in others. Some of your identities will not change because you are not willing to share what you know. You refuse, you know all this information, you know all these things, but you refuse to serve someone else. You refuse to share what you know. I remember Joe Blast see me lifting with my sons a couple of years back, and he said, "Hey, so many words there. I'm glad you're lifting, but your form wasn't good." Immediately, no problem, Joe Black. I'm going to make my adjustments. Are you willing to share what you know? Then I'm gonna say another thing that's really got me this couple weeks. Are you willing to share what you know? Are you willing to help someone else? That's vitally important, because it is your rent on this earth for being on this earth is your ability to share with others your gift. Your rent on this earth is to share your gift with others. Why are you cheating the world of what you know and what you can do if you're not sharing it? All you want to do is eat, 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 and give, take, take, take. What are you giving to others, to humanity? That's what's stopping a lot of guys from moving forward. Let me say this part because just because I'm almost at an hour, but I want to share this part too. The reason why your identity is taking a hit is because you don't believe in yourself anymore. You don't trust you. Your trust in yourself has eroded. Your trust that you can accomplish something has dissipated. Your trust in your words don't mean anything. I heard something this week, and I think I posted it. How can you make it a promise to everyone else, but don't keep the promise to yourself? How can you make a promise to everyone else in your life, but don't keep the promise to you? I want that to sink in right there. Sink in, let it get in there. How can you keep a promise to everyone else in your life, but you don't take the time to what? Keep the promise that you need to keep to yourself. I always say this: commitment doesn't start with anyone else. It starts with how committed are you to you? How committed are you to your dreams, to your aspirations, to the things that you want to accomplish, to the Lexus 350? Oh, wow. Was the trust ever there at all for some? Correct. You never trusted yourself. You never, ever trusted yourself, and you doubted who you are. So everything, the energy that emanates from you is that of, I don't trust myself and I do not trust you. That's what you got to be careful you listen to online, because they're emanating, they're giving off or spewing out. Let me use another word to make it really clear. They're vomiting on you their mistrust they say they have for women, but their real mistrust they have is for themselves. The real issue is they're vomiting on you their mistrust for themselves and their ability to choose correctly. They don't trust themselves. So they give you formulas and mixes and elixirs and 5 points, and this is why this is happening, and she's doing that, and this is why your money's like that. It's because they never trusted who they were. I'm on somebody's street. I'm knocking on your door. Avon, have you got your Avon today? Have you got your Avon today? They never trusted themselves, so they spew out or they vomit on you their mistrust that they have from themselves for the opposite sex or anyone else. And the worst thing you can do is get vomit on you. It stinks. It's bad. Woo! It's terrible. Can you give me some free advice? I'm 28 years old, no girlfriend, no job, barely any friends, and I need a serious makeover. Oh, wow, great. So I'm not going to give you anything that's free. Let's start there. So I understand what you were saying. I'm not giving you anything for free. You're paying right now because you're going to pay attention. You're 28, no girlfriend, no job, barely any friends. So the biggest thing is you need a serious makeover. I don't know where you living at, where you're standing, how you even get online. I'm just going to be completely clear. Take the girlfriend off the plate. Don't even worry about no girlfriend right now. What is he saying? Don't worry about a girlfriend right now. You don't need no girlfriend right now. Look what's in your hands and where can you go work at? And then you said you barely have any friends. He who wants friends must first show himself friendly. He who wants friends must show himself friendly. It all points back to you. It all points for real. Point back. Don't worry about no girlfriend. Need a job. I'm in a similar situation. Okay. No girlfriend. Don't worry about the girlfriend right now. Job. How can I, where I'm at, get some income in my pocket? See, this the thing. When that check hits, it does something to you, to what's inside of you. Or when you do something and you get money from it, you're like, oh man, it builds confidence in you. Being a good version, you to get a good friend. Yep, I have a job working on getting my own place. Okay, so you got your own. Then the next step, get your own place. I was just sharing with my girlfriend today. I live down the street from where I'm at. I stayed in a boarding house. So I'm not talking from something. Oh, we were talking about LDA. You ain't never been there. No, I was in the boarding house with other people. We had to share the bathroom. Share the bathroom. So I had to schedule when I had to go to work, schedule when I can take a shower, and if I had to do the number 2, I had to wait because somebody else was in the bathroom doing the number. I had to do that. But at least it was my own room. It was my own room. And guess what happened? When I had enough of that, shift change. My problem is I've been spending my money frivolously on dates with women I can't. Man, I'm gonna tell you, that's on you. Is how many times you're gonna be a sucker? You spending your money on women that you can't even afford. Find a woman, if you're gonna go that route, that's on your level. You got to be your own friend first. You got to invest in yourself. You can't get no girl before you get yourself. Plain and simple. Yeah, you spending money on dates and going here, showing out, and you how you gonna show? This is the truth and the honest, the God truth. How you gonna spend money on dates, but you barely have you can use that money to invest to have your own place, even if it's a 1-bedroom or if it's a studio apartment. I got my own place. She will respect you more. A woman will respect you. No, you will respect yourself, boy, when you have your own place. When is a good time? When is a good time to give up some things that a gold ticket be holding on that cost more pain, time, and resistance, and other avenues, money, certification, and speaking of. Um, Give me a little. I barely understand what you're saying. Is it the timeline? LDA, when is a good time to give up on something that's a gold ticket, but holding on to it costs more pain, time, and resistance in other avenues, money and certifications. And I'm speaking of, is it a good time? So I would that was something I had to speak on the back end because I understand what you're saying and I do not, and I don't want to say anything. I don't want to miss. I don't want to say something out of line. And especially with money, I'm careful because I can't tell you what to do with your money. I can't even tell you what you're going to do with the girl or whatever. But I will say this: that's something that has to be spoken behind the scenes or something like that. But let me go on. Well, I'm almost at an hour. That's what I want to be. Almost at an hour. Okay, your trade isn't working out anymore. Okay, got you. So great question. Let me say this: if your trade is not working out anymore, you need to talk to an advisor because I'm not that. You need to talk to an advisor on, hey, I put this trade in, it's not doing what it needs to do. Where do I need to put my money now in something that's low risk, mid risk, or high risk to get a return that I'm looking for? Especially when you do with trades, that's for people who have money to play with. That's all. And you don't take them, really don't take the money out. I got money in some crypto and some other areas. I forget about it. I forgot I even had it. So I have crypto. I think it's crypto, not crypto, and another crypto coin. And then I have in some other stocks in some other areas. I don't even touch the money. I actually forgot about it until you said something. Not trading forex. I mean certification and being certified. Okay. Oh, in my trade isn't working out. Oh, okay. I got you. Thank you. Okay, well, I gave that free advice for somebody to listen to. So I forgot what trade that you're in. I got you. Let me say this. I forgot what I don't know what trade that you're in, but I will say this from real close to very personal to me. Get this if that trade is not working out for you, find another trade or something else that you can do because that's where the gold mine is going to be at coming up. The trades, electrician, plumber, HVAC, carpenter, all those trades are about to go up. I was just sharing with someone yesterday. Everyone, they kept telling us to teach people how to code. Yeah, there's money there, but where's going to really be the money at? It's in the trades, HVAC, plumber, electrician. All those trades are going to be. So you need a certain certification so that you can go to the next level. You need to do that, or you need to look optional. Look at another job, another place where your trade can optimize how much you get paid. I got into it. Got into accident. It's hard to get back in. Oh, okay. Yeah. What trade are you in? Let me know what trade that you're in, and I can tell you something. Then I'm going to. I got to get dressed. I got to go out of town for a second. Let me know what trade that you're in, so I can tell you. So, but back to what we're saying, your identity. Hope you guys got something from this. I'm going to change the name of it. Your identity determines the amount of transformation that you get, that you're in. With that being said, you want to reach out to me, I will have something. I've been working behind the scenes on a course. And yes, it's going to cost. Plain and simple. It's going to start at 1K. I'm going to have some entry level stuff at 97 or 297, but I'm ready for people who are serious about making the leap for transformation. I want to work with men who are serious about making a transformation in your life. And you're not going to make a $3.99 is not going to cut it. $4.99 is not going to cut it. $97 is not going to bring the transformation you want. If you want real transformation, you got to pay for it. Plain and simple. So at 1K is where it starts at. Are you trucking? Oh, okay. Trucking. Yeah, I have a lot of family who are in trucking. So with trucking, and you've been in an accident, probably driving, you may need to look at some other areas. You might have looked at some other areas where you, let me say this. Sometimes we don't realize when it's time to move to something new. If the trucking have served you for so many points, so many for so many years, could it be time for you? You've been in an accident, things have happened, for you to enter into the place where you now teach about trucking. I don't know how many hours you got with trucking, with your certifications, how many loads you took. You can create an offer or a course for new beginners on how the do's and don'ts of trucking. And guess what happened? There's your money right there. You can become an instructor. Hey, when you go trucking, this is what you need to do. You need to look out for this. When you go to certain countries, you need to go. You need to do that. Why? Because people are always looking for, let me say it this way. You got to go to 5 years ago, say when you may have started in trucking, and you were new, you didn't know certain things. There's people in the same place that you are at who are willing to pay for information so that they don't make the same mistakes that you made. Are you asking me? So that's how that is. So you might want to look at that. How can I maybe become an instructor in trucking? So how much is counting? I really don't do one-on-ones anymore. So my one-on-one to have a one-on-one with me, and it's for an hour or less, is at 2K. Because what I'm going to share with you, going to change your life. 2K. Yeah, that's how much my consultation. You want a one-on-one, 1 hour is 2K. So with that being said, this is Lawrence D. Adams. Change your identity. I'm gonna change the name of this and put a screen. Definitely put a screen share. A thumbnail up there, and we will go from there. Well, this is Lawrence D. Adams. I am over. Where my music? I ain't played this in a while. Oh, not that one. We out. Peace.